Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm gonna start off with the introduction. So, a kitchen blender is a small motorized appliance used to blend, puree or emulsify food and other substances. It consists of a motor housed in the base with the blade assembly attached to the bottom. So the blade assembly is usually removable for cleaning. The pitcher or jar that holds the ingredients is usually made of glass or plastic and has a lid to prevent from spilling. A kitchen blender is also closely related to rotational motion because it is the rotation of the blade that chops, cuts and blends the food. The motor in the blender's base converts the electrical energy into mechanical energy, which is then used to rotate the blades. The speed and the direction of the blade's rotation determine the type of blending that occurs, whether it's a coarse chop or a smooth puree. Rotational motion is also responsible for creating the vortex that pulls the food towards the blades, ensuring that everything is blended evenly. Understanding the principles of rotational motion is crucial because to develop efficient and effective blender technology. Okay, for the next one is meat. What key need will you meet? So the first one is have durable motors for high volume drain. The second one is stainless steel blades, which is tougher and have high durability. And the third one is BPA free materials. Why? Because it doesn't consume any harmful chemicals. And last but not least is polycarbonate glass jar, because some people love clear transparent blender, so it is lightweight and it's more robust than other glass jar.
So next we look for whose key needs, especially between chef and housewife. For me, chef use a blender a lot when cooking if you want to compare them to housewives. This is because the chef's job is to cook food for customers and most of the ingredients for cooking need a blender, while housewives only use a blender when necessary only. How often do people experience this problem and when? So the problem is loose lid, blunt blade and loud noises. So we take a look for a loose lid occurs when the rubber that hold the lid is thin. Next, about a blunt blade, this is occur when the blade is often used for a long time and is never changed. Okay, last we see about a loud noise. Much of the noise a blender puts out is due to the motor working hard or the resistance between the metal blades and the food items in the blender. So just because a blender is making a loud noise doesn't mean there is a problem with it. It could just be the result of a loud motor. Plus, how big is the problem for user or customers? For example, in unwanted costs for material. If any part of the blender is broken, it is really hard to find a good tubes or the same parts. Again, since most of expensive blender don't really offer any spare parts.
So, what will happen if the need is not met? Firstly, the sales will decrease because less people want to buy it, or maybe none of them are interested in this product. Next, it will not reach the target numbers of customers because a product must go with their audience needs for the products to be bought, or maybe to attract their own audience. So if it doesn't reach what the audience want, it won't be suitable for them to buy it, or maybe they think why they should buy it when it doesn't meet what they want or what they need. Furthermore, the profits will go decrease because less people will buy it and there will be no profits, or maybe less, too small for them to grow. And lastly, the company will go bankrupt. This is because the profits decrease, the sale will drop, and the company doesn't have enough money to sustain the business. So, this is how we will counter the problem. First, we will use a stucker between the lid and the body of the blender. This is to prevent the food from getting out from the blender while they are using it, and it will tighten the lid so the user doesn't need to put their hand on top of it to make sure it is safe and the lid doesn't get out from the blender. So next, we will make a noise reduction shields around the blender control motor. So a noise reduction blender is a need cause to avoid some noisy noise, or maybe to avoid the unwanted sound in the house. So this will reach maybe a pregnant mother or a mother with a baby, so they want their baby to sleep well, or there will be no noise to disturb their baby sleep. And lastly, we will use more sharp blade and change it to stainless steel. The stainless steel blade will be more hard and more efficiently used, and the blade will not be rust because it is stainless steel. So this is the need that will meet the audience that will buy our blender. So our solution will be by joining home appliances event at shopping mall or any entrepreneur events. For example, IOI City Mall Putrajaya, which is a big mall that usually held an event related to home appliances. This will attract more customers to experience the appliances firsthand at the event. So, as you can see, we as a buyer must be curious how the product works and how it will make us want to buy it. So, by joining this event, the buyer can see and use it first. So, their interest or their needs will be reached at the event. So, more people will buy this. Okay. So the technical issues that need to be solved. First, the body of the blender is fragile, and how we do it is we turn off the blender and unplug the blender first before using a scraper or spatula inside it. So the next issue is the food can get stuck in between the blade. What we must do is always put some water when blending the food to make it more moisture and more easy to be blend. And lastly, the control motor of blender can be overheat. We must not blend extremely thick foods for more than 3 minutes. Longer blending will increase the chances of the blender overheating because it must use a lot energy of electricity, so it will be overheated. So that's all for the technical issues and how we can solve it.